Watchmen, the next movie in the Zack Snyder retrospective we are looking at. Let's talk about it.
Writers and critics who prophesize with your pen.
Watchmen, the first comic book movie that Zack Snyder brought to the big screen. And look, we're just going to say it straight off the bat. Look, The Watchmen isn't going to be for everyone, okay? Because it is a dark and gritty story. And it is not a pleasant comic book story that you are used to. It's not like the MCU where it's like, oh, happy days, running around, heroes fighting villains all the time. No, Watchmen is actually a dark story that is so deep in meaning, so deep with and rich with characters and narrative and story, that by the time you finish watching Watchmen, you're sitting there like, oh my god, that was an experience, man. That was one of those experiences that I wish I could re-experience again for the very first time. Now, what this movie does that many other movies don't do when it comes to the comic book genre is transcend that genre. And that's what this movie does, because this movie isn't just about superheroes. This movie is actually a mystery movie where you are putting the pieces together because of the idea of someone is obviously killed Comedy, who is a hero, has killed him, and now they think that someone is coming for them. So there's this mystery element going on where you're trying to figure out who is behind this, who is the main villain, who's the one running the show, who's doing all this. And then you throw in the whole emotional side of Dr. Manhattan, trying to come to terms of realization of life and what it means, and just everything to do with that character. And then you bring it full circle with the twist and the reveal and the meaning behind the villain and why the villain did what they did. It's just absolutely fantastic. It transcends beyond a comic book movie. This could easily be a mystery thriller movie. It really could be. It's just got superhero stuff in it. But that's what I love about this movie, is that it does that. Now, the pacing of the film I thought was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed the pacing of this film quite a lot because it dives into the stuff that is necessary. Zack doesn't just give you stuff for the sake of it. He doesn't just put a scene in there that isn't going to have any relevance moving forward. Every scene matters in this movie. Every scene is a breadcrumb leading to the final piece of the puzzle at the end. And it's not just for us, but it's for the characters in there as well. And one of the characters that I absolutely love is Dr. Manhattan, because this character experiences this traumatic experience where he gets trapped, and then he becomes Dr. Manhattan. He becomes this being with immense power, able to basically almost shift matter at will, no matter what. He's able to travel the galaxy. He can do basically anything and everything. He can teleport, you name it, he can do it. But you have this character who now realizes he has all this power, but at the core of him, he feels like an emotionless being. He doesn't care for the humans. He doesn't do this for that. And, when his world is shattered because of the rumors going around that he's the reason why the people close to him have cancer, this shifts his character into a way where he feels like he needs to abandon Earth, go to Mars, and live there because everything is peaceful. It is quiet. There's no war. There's no nothing. And he sees humans as inferior, even though he was one before him. It's his beautiful character arc, but then when he comes to the realization at the end of the movie with the person that he was, in a relationship with, when he brings her to Mars and has this deep conversation with her, he then realizes that, how beautiful life is and how, miracles work. And, after we get more of the backstory of who the father really was to the particular character, and then that's what realizes him to be like, miracles can happen. Like, humans, maybe they are worth saving. And it's just this beautiful realization. He's such a deep character. There's no one-dimensional characters in this movie at all. And Dr. Manhattan stands out so well. And not to mention, the CGI is absolutely fantastic. Like, this movie is gorgeous. Even though it's dark and gritty and it looks like it looks like this is an alternative version of America in the 1985 era. It looks like this is like, dark and gritty by the aesthetic look of it, but it's gorgeous at the same time. And Dr. Manhattan, man, that still holds up today. It's absolutely fantastic. It's really, really good. His character, I absolutely love. The other characters, I love their journey as well, and how they're going on their own arcs, trying to figure out pieces. And obviously, we have this beautiful arc to one of the main leads that we follow, the guy with the mask that changes, that is just with the little black goo sort of stuff. Oh my god. It just looks so good, man. I love that mask. I mean, the costumes alone. The costumes alone are absolutely gorgeous, and they're freaking perfect, man. They just look incredible on the big screen. And now this character has his own little journey where he's trying to figure out who killed Comedy, who did this. So he's trying to piece everything together and figure out this mystery. And then, he comes to this realization as well. But it's the climactic ending of this movie, the twist when it gets revealed that the hero, one of the heroes, is behind the whole entire thing. He's the one that is pushing everything towards what seems to be a nuclear war. And they know that this guy is a lot, like, obviously the power scaling here is Dr. Manhattan's like top tier. And then we have this hero. He's like sort of like a Superman sort of figure in a way. He's very strong, very quick, and he's just superior to the other people. So when they figure out that he's the one behind it all, you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, man, that's insane." But these characters are now like, "Wait a second. So you're the one that killed Comedy, and you're doing this." And what I love is Zack Snyder doesn't just make him a typical villain where he just twirls his little mustache and tells everyone the plan. No, there's a specific line in here where he goes, "I ain't no comic book villain. I'm not going to tell you my plan. Tell you my plan, then you could intervene." And I love that Zack did that because, we're so accustomed to villains, laying out their plan before the hero. And then the hero's like, "Okay, well, cheers, mate. You just told me your plan. Now I can devise a plan to stop it." No, not here. Then he says to them, "It's already in place. I've already done it." And then these bombs go off in different areas. And when Dr. Manhattan arrives and you see just actually what he has done, what the villain of this movie has actually done, is actually, you see it from his point of view, because what he actually achieved is world peace. By making it, not by nuclear bombs, by making it seem like Dr. Manhattan is the one that attacked everyone and bringing Russia and America together. So it's this really nice idea that wraps this villain around that you think, okay, this guy's killed Comedy, he's setting up all this stuff, he's going around behind everyone's back, and now, he's blowed up all these people, but he has chosen to sacrifice millions in order to save billions and to create a utopia of world peace where everyone is interlocking arms. There's no wars going on. We have a common enemy, Manhattan, and everything is like that. And it's so good because you could have easily had this villain just be a villain. Like the twist is, "Oh man, I just did this because I wanted to." No, this villain actually has layers to it. He wanted to do this to create world peace. That's what his whole motivation was, to create world peace. Meanwhile, he had to make the hard choice by sacrificing people to get there, but he was willing to have that blood on his hands and to live with that in order to achieve world peace, to save billions. It's such a good writing idea and a great execution. And when Dr. Manhattan actually, ponders this with him when he's sitting there, and he agrees on this, and he's like, "We can't tell anyone." Like, Dr. Manhattan is willing to leave Earth after coming to the realization of life and everything like that, to then go and leave it and go explore the galaxy and maybe create life somewhere else, he says. But to leave that, knowing that he's the villain of this whole entire story, he's become the villain, but peace and prosperity will be there on Earth. Like, it's just this absolutely fantastic moment. It's so good. And then, when Dr. Manhattan is there talking to one of them at the end there, and, the guy is just telling him, like, "I have to tell people. I can't do this. I can't, I have to tell them all." And then Dr. Manhattan ends up killing him. But you learn about this, like, tragic story that the guy had. And, him dying was him basically letting go of everything and being at peace finally. So Zack was able to create this team-up movie that was multi-layered, multi-stories, different narratives all interlocking, different characters with different motivations, with different backstories, all coming together to create this insane, beautiful story that is known as Watchmen. Like, it's just absolutely fantastic. And Christopher Nolan has come out and recently said that the Watchmen was ahead of its time. And I believe it is, because it still holds up today, and it still is one of those movies that you watch and you're just like, this is just really good. It's just really good storytelling. You know, the aesthetic look is absolutely fantastic. The costume design and the whole, you know, set designs, everything about it was just absolutely gorgeous and perfect. But it's the characters that make it. You know, we go on this journey with them, learning about their relationships. You know, Night Owl's absolutely awesome as well. Patrick Wilson's great. Like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as comedy is hilarious and just absolutely brilliant as well. And you learn about him and how much of he was an asshole as well. But then, you know, it all comes crashing down for him. So the hallway scene, man. There's always a great hallway scene, no matter what. And this has a great hallway scene. The fighting and action was great, but it's not overpowering. Like, this isn't just a full action comic book movie. This is all about characters and story driven. And man, it's just really, really good to come back and rewatch it again and just see just how good this movie really is. And, you know, the tone was great. I feel like it was great. The ending was absolutely superb. And, dude, one shot that we need to talk about is the one on Mars with Dr. Manhattan's, like, glass gold thing that's floating, man. That shot is absolutely gorgeous, man. But look, Watchmen for me, I absolutely really enjoy this movie a lot, and I think it's just fantastic. So let me know what you guys think of Watchmen. Have you come back to it and changed your opinion? Let me know. Smash it down there, smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.